Hey, in this little video clip, I want to go a bit deeper into the question, how can I build trust even if I believe that I don't deserve it? And in order to try to answer this question, it could make sense to go a little bit deeper into the topic of trust in general. And in order to do that, it makes sense to move really onto the beginning of our lives when we are born as a child. So we get thrown into this world with this certain primal trust, you call it, right? We have no other chance than really trusting our mother, our father, because all the basic needs we have will be fulfilled by our producers, by mom and dad. But time goes by and it can, as you guys know already, be the cold hands of the nurse or something that kind of disappoints us in our early days, and there's this kind of first trauma that, okay, trust might harm me. People get more and more skeptic towards the way of their lives. And there's also biological background to this, which happens in our brains. There's a certain center in our brains, many of you know it, it's the amygdala, which is still there since our reptilians age, and we were mice, and there's a certain link to trust and the amygdala, because the amygdala is more or less a little bit of the sensor of anything that could harm us, any danger that could appear. And it can also be anything that's unknown. Anything that we don't know, the amygdala rings the alarm. And it has direct access onto our sympathetic nervous system, which means it can directly activate us, fight, flight, or freeze. So either we run away, or we play dead, or we start to fight. And this has a lot to do with trust, because anything we don't know, we don't trust at first. So same is true for teams and offices. If there's a kind of danger, skepticism always running around, people get stuck. So there's this kind of stuck culture in teams, which we see so often, which prevents teams and leaders from becoming trusted teams and get things rolling. So what can you do as a leader or as a person in a team to become a more trusted person? Basically, it's crucial to know that trust consists of a few ingredients, and there's a thing called the trust equation, which has 4 ingredients. So number 1 is the empathy. The empathy means I think that you have something good in mind for me. So then in order, if this is fine, I can trust you. You have something good in mind for me. You're not against me. Number 2 is the reliability. I think that you do what you say. So the reliability means really, I say something, I do it, so people start trusting me because I'm just basically reliable. Number 3 is the credibility, which means that I know what I'm talking about. So I would only trust someone who's really reliable, who means good with me, and I know that the person is really competent and knows what he or she is talking about. And all these 3 factors are great to have. And in the trust equation that I can link down here in the post, there's a 4th factor which can actually destroy all the other scores that you would give your teammates in this trust equation, and it's the self-orientation. The self-orientation means if I'm only in the game for myself, it's all worth for nothing, right? So I can be an empathetic, super reliable, very competent person. If I'm only in the game for me, my own career, you could compare it to a good sports team, like the one guy who's only up for shooting the goal and not making the right pass to his teammate or his team member. Everything's for nothing. So try to work on those 4 elements and reflect on your own self and say, hey, how reliable am I really in the everyday life? What about my competence? Could I be maybe specializing, getting expertise in 1 or 2 other topics that I, have always on my bucket list and never really done it? And how about my empathy? Am I really listening to my teammates? Am I so empathetic that I would say I try to see the world out of their perspective as well, as at least when we're just in a personal conversation together? Do I try to listen deeply and not only having my own agenda in my head, which is always a fallback that we all have? We're busy, we're having our own goals, but it's so crucial that we see our team members as a functioning system interconnected with us. And then when everyone can drop this self-orientation a little bit, and we all see that we're kind of getting into coherence, we become a really powerful, successful team. And also for you as a leader or just as a person, work on those 4 factors and see what comes out in the end. You will gain more trust. I'm 100% sure.